Hey guys, David here. So I'm just going to go through a coding session right now. I don't really expect too many people to watch this. It's probably going to be a long video. Um, but I'm going to work on Artisfy a little bit and show you guys around what I'm working on. And I hope you like it. Okay. So first of all, I just want to show you some of the Artisfy screens. So there's like quite a few here. There's a lot of steps in the process, but the part I'm building right now is this. So this is going to be a page for artists that they can build. And you can think of it like a portfolio site. You know, you might build a portfolio site as an artist, but instead this is for getting hired specifically. So, you know, you might go to an artist website and not know if they're available for hire, you know, how much they cost, how long a project will take. If you go to, you know, one of these pages that they put together, you'll be able to see, oh, okay, I can get this project for, you know, $300. I can get this project for $800. And then, let me zoom out here. Going here, if you click on the more details, you get into this. And, you know, right now we're in a design program, so this isn't, like this hover effect isn't going to show up on the site. But what I'm doing right now is converting this into code so that people can actually use it. And yeah, so I'll show you how far I've come with that so far. So yeah, we've got the header, we've got the the title area, the profile icon, and we've got this little area here. And I like this effect right here. I like the I don't know, it's like such a simple thing, but I just like the way the color changes. And then you got the more details. And now you'll see this text down here. It's very light on the screen because I haven't styled it yet. But this is for the more detailed section. So yeah, so I've been through a lot of versions of this. Let's see. I mean, you're going to see all the secrets. So we go into no. Oh yeah, here it is. Okay, so we've got a bunch of different versions of this flow, and I just want to show you an early one real quick because it's kind of embarrassing. Actually, this one's not too bad. I don't know, it's a little bad. So this was like one of the first versions of the page that I was thinking. It's pretty simple. It's got a light background. It doesn't like really emphasize the projects because of the light background, and you know, it doesn't have any top header area. It's not super built out, but I was mostly just exploring the styling for these bundles. And looking back at it, you know, I don't mind this. I think it's pretty good. But you know, I've gotten feedback from this, and that's what helped me get to this, which is more visual. And you know, trying to attract artists, you definitely want to have them be able to highlight their work. I want to show you one other early version. Oh, this was a fun one. Yeah, this interesting one. Oh, this one. This one's really quite fun. So this is just to give you an idea of like how hard it is to design stuff, because you know, even if you've been designing for 5 or 6 years, like I have been full-time, you start out with designs that are pretty bad. You know, if you're just playing around, you're trying to do something new. You know, I was trying to go for something really unique here, but like this is, it's almost completely wrong. But the nice thing about it is that it gives you something to work with. And I'd say, in my experience, trying to start Artisfy, that's the most important thing, is just giving yourself something to work off of. And then you can kind of play around with it, and eventually it'll kind of, you know, come together into something that's more coherent and, you know, understandable to other people. Yeah. So I actually made like little notes on the side here. And it gets to this version, which is like a little clearer. You don't have this like hole in the middle, which is actually one of the things I really don't like about this, even though like everything's misaligned and like nothing really looks quite right here. The hole in the middle is the thing that gets me the most. It's kind of like playful. I got some feedback on this that maybe it was a little too playful, you know, for all these designs pretty much. So I went down here. This one's not that great. The white color doesn't really fit with the rest. And then this one, which like, okay, so for this one, it's still bad, right? It's not like it doesn't look great, but if you take that away and just kind of look at the individual elements and how they fit together, I actually kind of like this one. Like, it's not something I think would be final, but I think it's a lot closer to something, you know, I wouldn't mind building. You've got like an obvious button to click on, another obvious button to click on. The styles are distinguished. You have the black on white text, so it's very easy to read, and you've got the highlight, which kind of says, this is the thing you really want to focus on, you know, and the yellow is like, this is the thing maybe that's not as important. And yeah, so I made some notes here, trying to make the design more visually appealing, cutting down on use of hard, bright colors, keeping the more info button grouped with the info, going back to a round select button, and focus on making the important text more readable. And then you come to this, and you know, I actually still like this one. Yeah. And then you've got the expanded view, which it's like very simple, very playful. I got some feedback from people that, you know, it kind of felt like a child's toy. But in my opinion, that's not necessarily a bad thing. After like a lot of years of, you know, designing interfaces, I've kind of come to the conclusion that making it look pretty is much, much, much less important than making it usable and, you know, easy to use. You know, like you can go into the prettiest interface, but, you know, for your bank account or whatever. But if you don't know how to like check your balance, or, you know, like if there's like flight booking software and you don't know how to book a flight, like it can can have the prettiest pictures, but it won't matter. You know, you'd rather have very clear buttons, you know, very clear idea of what you can click on, very clear idea of the details, you know, have everything be obvious. I think this goes a little bit overboard, but to be honest, I kind of like it. I think it's a unique style. I wouldn't mind going with something like this in the future, but I just kind of wanted to show you that progression, you know, because I'm pretty embarrassed of the earlier parts of this, but it's kind of cool what it ended up being. Okay, so getting back to the design. Okay, so we're going to build this out, and I might, you know, go into talk about other things at some point, but this is the code for this. So this is the HTML. It's actually a pug file, so it compiles down into HTML, but it just looks prettier than HTML. So yeah, we're on this section. This is probably the part of the video that's going to get a little boring for a lot of you, so feel free to skip ahead. So this detail section is this area here. So like that area, let's make this dark. So this area, that's a detail section. Then this is another detail section. This is another detail section. I think that, yeah, this will be another detail section, and then this too. And the reason I group them is because they all have the same spacing between them. So they all have, see, 48 pixels. See that red number there? And then they all have this like little header, right? See the little header? That's all the same style, right? So it's blue, and it's got the same size, and it's probably going to have the same, margin on the bottom. So, yeah, I mean, whenever something has the same styles like that, you want to make it the same markup. So let's see. So we're at project timeline estimate. Oh, this is actually one of the hard parts. So I got to make this little timeline area. So let's look at how to do this. So I'm not styling it yet. I'm just gonna make the HTML for it. So we're gonna start off with a container that's timeline, and then we're gonna just put these boxes inside of it. And for now, I just do timeline item. Wow. It's a little embarrassing, like watching people, but like thinking that people are watching me code. But that's fine. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay, so we got timeline item, and these all have types, and I do want to get those. I have them in the legend here. So I could just label them like black, blue, green, but like looking back on this code later, that's not going to really do much for me. So I'm going to do timeline item dash dash client feedback, and that will make it easy for me to style this later. Like the client feedback one is going to be black, blue is going to be discussion, and then there's another blue here, and there's another blue 3 from the bottom, and then we've got a green, which is exploratory work, which is the fourth one, or oh my goodness, here, exploratory. There's discussion, and then focused work. I'll call it focus. So the problem with naming things like this so soon is like, what if I change the name of this, right, in the legend? What if I test this out with people and it doesn't make sense to them, what does focus work mean? So I end up changing it to like something else, like artist working, right? It could just be like artist or illustrating, right? Or like I think I had it before, detail work. So yeah, what if I change it to that? And then I have to go into all this code, and I have to find every time I use one of these timeline items focused. And it's not just going to be on this page, right? It's going to be on other pages too. I'm going to have to change this everywhere. Well, maybe not. I can just leave it focused, and I can know what that means because I'm the only one looking at the code. And then on the front end, there's going to be like, here there's going to be some mismatch. So like the class, so these are called classes, right? The class is going to say, focused, right? But the text will say something else, and that's fine. Some people, I think, might like go in and rename everything later, and I think that's fine too. You can do that too. I might end up doing that. Okay, so we've got different sizes on these too, and the sizes are independent of the type it is. Usually focus work is going to be longer, but artists are going to be able to have shorter amounts of focused work. So we've got a unit of 1, unit of 2, and unit of 3. So I'm just going to do timeline underscore item size 1. And I don't actually need a size 1 because that's the default. You know, everything's gonna by default just be, sorry about that, no, that's embarrassing. Everything's gonna be this size, but I like to have it anyways. So we're gonna have 2 size 1s, and a size 2, and a size 1, and a size 3, another focus, size 3, client feedback, that's a size 1, discussion, size 1, client feedback, size 1. Yep. Okay. So that should be enough for the timeline. It won't be enough for the expanded view, but I like to keep it simple to start. And oops, this is the mobile layout. I'll make it simple to start and just design for this, and then I'll think about how it's going to expand into the fuller view later. Okay. So we've got the timeline, and we've got the view detail timeline. So this is going to be details, link. That's fine. So that'll be an anchor tag. And I think this is, I'm not like super comfortable with Pug, with this syntax, because I used it in my job 2 jobs ago, and and now I'm using a very similar syntax to Pug called Slim, and they're slightly different, but I think that you put parentheses around Pug stuff. Okay, so we've got that section. The HTML is all built, and I'll just show you the CSS. So this is Sass. This compiles down to CSS. It just like removes a lot of extra syntax. And it's kind of cool. It's like really cool. You can like reuse certain things. So this is like for setting a text shadow, and all it does is like take this text shadow and applies it wherever. And then if I change this text shadow, which is like the, they call it a mix-in, it'll change everywhere in the file. So that's nice. We've got the bundle styles here. So these are all the styles. This is actually where all of the hard work happens, is in the CSS. As far as like the styling, as far as like, you know, how the page looks goes. But, you know, you need a kind of architecture, a scaffold, you know, on which to put the styles. So we're going to do details, section, and then details, heading, and included revisions, and then details list, I guess, and align. List item. Oops. So yeah, I use bold tag here. Major revision. Some people would say use a strong tag, but I'm fine with a bold tag. And I'll do span, and I believe this is an M dash up to 2 hours of extra work. Yeah, so this is a cool section. This kind of like explains to the client, you know, what's actually included in this bundle, right? So they've got the timeline, and then they've got these extra revisions beyond this timeline. And I think maybe I don't do the best job of explaining that, but it's pretty good. I think it's like, if the client clicks on this, then they see all the timeline, and then they can see that they can add revisions. But yeah, I have to think about maybe explaining that a little bit better. But I do have this little info button to click, and that does go into it a little bit. Okay, so we got the list item. I'll just copy that 3 times. We've got a minor revision, and I think this is 30 minutes. And then the last one is not bold, and we're going to say work beyond these revisions requires additional payment, and then we're going to have the same info icon. Okay, and this is a cool thing. So this is font. This is like font awesome. So it's just like an icon font that lets you just insert icons into your HTML. You know, whatever icons you want. And I have their library here. I bought it for $20 on Kickstarter, and you get all these icons. Oh man, it's really a dream because they are so well designed, and yeah, they're just nice to use. Sometimes, like, I go in here and I find a cool icon, and sometimes it's like not perfect. You know, like I'm trying to like find a good example of something that I probably wouldn't use. These are pretty good though. Like this one. I don't like how the eyes are. So I would probably search on another site for an icon for like a sad face, right? Or just like insert an emoji. Because emojis, I think, yeah, they just work. So, okay, so we got the detail list. And we got the info icon. And let's do this. I hope like my boss isn't watching me code. Just because I'm like nervous right now, so I'm not like, this isn't how I actually code. I'm usually so much more focused. Okay, so yeah, we got another info icon, and oh, we got another section. So this is cool. I have this clipboard manager that lets me bring up things that I've previously used, and since that was like 2 times ago, it just comes right in. Okay, so got that. Okay, and this is a tiny bit complicated in here. So we've got an image inside of a container, and there's going to be 4 next to each other. It's not complicated in terms of the HTML, but just like the HTML, how I write the HTML will depend on, you know, how I'm planning on using this later with the styles. So I usually try to think a little bit about that ahead of time. Yeah, it just struck me that this is probably not very interesting to very many people. Okay, details. So I'm trying to think about, I think I'm just gonna make, no, I'll leave it. Okay, so yeah, I was just thinking, like, do I want this to be like always part of the detail section, or like might I use these thumbnails in other parts of the application that, you know, not inside of this light blue container? And if I'm going to use them in other places, then I might just want to say like thumbnails, right? Because they're not going to be inside of details. But if they are always or mostly going to be inside of details, then I probably just want to do like, name it like this. And I'll probably just name it samples. And details, sample, and it's going to be image source. Oh wait, like this. And we've got images. Yeah, so I should mention all of these images on this page are from Miori. She's an amazing artist. She's got a huge following on Twitch and Twitter and Instagram and all kinds of services. She's really good. She does commissions. I had her commission an artwork, this one here, and it turned out amazing. She's one of the best freelancers I've ever worked with. And I'm going to actually ask for her permission before posting this video, because I used all of her artwork in my design without her permission. So I feel a little bit bad about that. But it did make it easier to design things because it's nice to just have content. But I should, check in with her before sharing that with anyone. Yeah, I probably should have checked in with her before, using them in the original designs, because I have showed this to a couple other people. Okay, so we've got this. Okay, I'll just do. Command-Shift-P. For some reason that wasn't working. Okay. So, if we go to the HTML now, we'll see we've got everything, including the images. Yeah. So, this is going to turn into this pretty soon. Yeah. Okay, so first things first, let's export this. Sample 1. Yeah. Okay, cool. And we got that in there. And I'm actually, I guess I'll export all of them, huh? Usually I would just repeat that one, but that's fine. It'll make the design look a little bit nicer. And I hope no people who actually use Sketch are using this or watching this, because I feel like there are probably easier ways of doing this. Also, I exported these images at really small sizes, which is not ideal, because I think, yeah, they're actually higher resolution. So that's a neat thing that Sketch does, is it exports it at its actual size. So I'm actually going to export these again at, let's see, 6 times their size. So then, yeah. Okay, that's much better. And then I'll resize it smaller, but then I can use this for other things too. Okay. Oh shoot. 6x. Yeah, I think if I name them and then I exported them all at once, probably be easier. Okay. Oops. Okay. So, yeah, in the actual like final design, these images aren't going to be this big probably. They might be, but it wastes a lot of bandwidth. Well, not a lot. It wastes a little bit of bandwidth to have like a bunch of images, excuse me, loaded in that are like really big. But these aren't actually that big. Oh, they actually are. Huh. Yeah, I mean, this is like a total of 2 megabytes just for these 4. So yeah, if we had like multiple projects loading in a lot of images, it could end up being like 10 megabytes. And that's way too big for a web page. So I'd probably like shrink these down. But, you know, just developing locally like I am right now, this is totally fine. Yeah. Okay, so now it's time to style things. So it gets exciting. Oh, and actually, I want to have detail sample image. Oops. Okay. Dun dun dun. Okay. So now I'm going to copy all this. And this is the nice thing about working with Pug instead of with HTML, is I can just copy all of this. Let's see, it's going to go up to details. That's all the unstyled parts. And see, we've got bundle. We've got this bundle section, and then there's everything nested in below here. See these 2 spaces? It's all nested. So this is like the info. This is the price. So I can show you like, oops, I zoomed in. So this is the price here. That's this here, right? Margin left, 4 pixels. So it's like, there's a little margin right here, 4 pixels, and that's what I did to the price. So here, I'm going to paste in this, and this is stuff that compiles down into HTML. So it's got all the content in it. But what we can do is just kind of clear that out. So the first thing, so yeah, so we've got, I'll just do this one at a time. Yeah. I don't know. I'm like self-conscious about my efficiency because I'm apparently going to be posting this, but it doesn't really matter. So we got section, and then it's going to be section first. So I can replace all of these things that say details with ampersands, because they inherit from the thing above them. So this thing, this ampersand is going to be replaced with this. I don't know. If you don't like know how to code, this is not really going to be helpful for you. But it's, I don't know. I think if you just keep following along, it might end up being good. So another thing is I don't need all of these. I know I repeated a lot of these, and I just need one for the styling, right? So I don't need these again. This is just regular span. I do have this info icon, so I want to keep that. I'm just getting rid of everything that's already styled or like I didn't write. So like this is the font awesome stuff. I don't need that. This is a timeline, so this is a separate section. We got the heading, and then we got the list stuff, and again we just need one of those because these are repeated. If you don't know what I mean by that, so we've got like multiple list items here. I'm only going to style those once because they all look the same in the design, right? So we've got like a bullet to the left, we've got the same color, the same text. These ones are bolds, but I took care of that with bold tags, so they're all just going to have the same styling. So I can delete this and these timeline things. Maybe replace with ampersands. And then press enter to get them all on separate lines. Now this is funny because some of these are repeated and some of them aren't. And now that I'm thinking about it, the ones that aren't size, I kind of want to say type before them, just to make it clear. So I'll just go in here and also type. Okay, so we got the sizes. That's easy. So we got size 1, size 2, size 3. And now I'm actually getting nervous about this. Because like, okay, what if I want to have different sizes eventually, right? I guess each one is just going to be like double the one before it. Or not double, but adding one unit on top of it. So this will be 2, this will be 1, 2, 3, and then if I need 4 later, I'll just add 4. Might not be the best way of doing it, but that's okay. Like another way of doing it would be like saying explicitly its size, so like 100 pixels, and then 200 pixels, and then if I needed one in between it, it's later, right? I would say like 150, right? But I can always do that later. It's going to be a headache if I have to, but whatever. So we got item, we got the sizes, and then we've got the types. Client feedback. Type discussion. I think there's a few of these. I think there's a few more of these that I didn't cover in this because there's more in there's fewer in the design than there are in the legend, but that's okay. Yeah, okay. So I think I got everything. Discussion, focused, sizes. Okay, so I don't need any of that. The item client feedback, size 1. So I already got that. Section, heading, info, got that. And then the samples. And the samples are part of detail. So this is just setting the stage for the actual styling to come together. So the exciting part is coming up. If you're still hanging on, trying to find something interesting, it's coming. So we got this. Okay, so we got details list, detail list item, detail samples, detail sample image. So now we've got all the sections that we're gonna want to style. And let's start styling it. So first of all, I know the details is gonna have a background color, and I want to address that first. Sometimes I use variables for background colors, but it looks like I'm not doing that so far. So I'll just stick with the lazy route of not doing that. So I'll just copy it directly from the design. Later I'll probably go in and replace them with variables because, again, it makes it a lot easier to change it, for everything everywhere later on. Okay, so we've got a background. Also, I know another issue is going to be aligning this with the container above it. So right now, I think in the design, it's going to be this wide, and there's going to be this extra bit over here So let's save, and let's go see what the design looks like. Yeah, see, so we got this little extra bit here. Also, there's a little disconnect here. And you might be wondering, what is this gap? What's going on here? There should be no gap. You know, these elements are right next to each other. It goes, in the HTML, it goes bundle, and then bundle cover, bundle description, right? The description's here. And then right after that is the details, which is all of this. So why is there this little gap? Well, you'll see here, this cover right here overlaps the description. And that's because I'm taking the description and I'm pushing it up. And that's why. There's a gap here is because this should be down here, but I'm pushing it up. So in order to address that, I need to do the same thing here. So the way I do that here is I have position relative and a top minus 36. I actually don't know if I need that z-index. I don't. Okay. So we're going to do top, and we're going to do relative. And that should fix the gap. Now that's not great, because then there's going to be this empty space down here, which is annoying. It's just annoying to work with in a design. I'm just trying to think if there's a better way to do this so that everything's not like slightly shifted up. I don't know. No, I think I'll leave it for now. Okay, so now we've got this this issue is for them not lining up on the left. So we're going to need a margin for that, and I'll just take the same margin off of the description. And again, I should probably be using variables here, but it's fine to not for now. Now there's a question. Should I make padding around this whole thing, right? Because you'll see there's a little area around all this content, but there's an issue with this. If I ever wanted to be able to extend an element to the end, to like all the way to the end, I couldn't do that if I put padding around the whole thing, right? Or, I mean, I could, but it wouldn't be easy. But if I put padding around each individual element, then for some elements I could choose not to put the padding, and then I could just extend those. From experience, I've kind of learned that maybe it's better to put it, around each element so that there's a little spacing for each element. But maybe for the sake of expediency, I don't do that right now. I'm just thinking, oh no. Okay, so yeah, I just got interrupted there because I had to free up some space. So now everything should be back to normal. So I was just debating about whether I should put padding around each element, and I think, yeah, that's probably what I'm going to actually end up doing. So we've got a section, and we're going to do padding, and it's going to be 24. And I think what I usually like to do is on each element I'll have padding or margin on the bottom. I'll just show you real quick. So see this area at the bottom? I'm going to have margin at the bottom but not at the top, so that every element above affects the one below, but it doesn't also like push the one above, and that just makes it a lot easier to style things in the long run. So I do think for this detail section, I'm going to do padding top of however much this is, 36 I think, yeah, 36. And then I'm going to do padding left and padding right. And then margin bottom, I think is 48. Margin bottom, 48 px. And then I have I have a special selector for the first one because I thought I might have to set like a different spacing for the first one, but I don't think I will actually. I'm just going to get rid of this first selector. Font weight bold for the heading. Regular font size. Color of that. But I do think that maybe it's the same color. No, it's not. I didn't have the same color for the link. That's weird. I think it's fine if it's the same color for the link. So I'm going to just move the color all the way up here so that everything is colored the same blue color. And I think that'll be fine. I'm not sure what I did in here. Yep, it's the same. Okay. I mean, if it wasn't the same, I would have made it the same. So, because it should just be one color. It's like, it's crazy as a user to like be in a web application and you're like looking and you're like, is this here like a slightly different color than this? Like, and like it might not matter that much, but any of those kinds of like distracting little style issues, they can kind of distract from the overall point of the site. So in general, you want to keep, the colors of the text in certain areas the same. Okay, so if we do that and we go back to the design, wow, it's really coming along already, right? I mean, those weren't too many changes. We do have this link that's a different color, but we can get around that. I guess. Oh, did I not have the link? Let's see. Details link. I missed it. Okay. So put that up here. So I could I could just have the color also affect anchor tags inside of here, but I'm fine with just putting on the link. So that if we go back here, we have that. Now the padding top on this section, what did I do? I misspelled something? Oh, I put 3 Ds. Okay. Okay. So there we got that. For the heading, I think we're gonna do 14px. So margin bottom 14px. And if you're if you want to learn like coding, if you want to learn like how to CSS and like how to style stuff, I would strongly recommend, for your own like sanity, putting all of the positioning stuff at the top of each section, and then like the colors and the backgrounds and stuff, put them second, because the positioning stuff is going to cause all of your issues. Like if you're trying to look at like, why does this look this way? You're just going to want to look at the top section, and usually it's just going to be like the first couple. So like I usually put the most important rules, like the position or the display, or like top left stuff at the top, followed by margin, followed by padding, and then like all of the like font sizes and colors and whatever. Font sizes matter too, so I usually like put them a little bit higher, but like they're usually not going to cause like big layout bugs. So I usually put them just like above the colors, which, who cares if the color's slightly wrong, right? Inside joke already. Okay. Okay, so we've got this section. Let's see the padding on this. 14, 19, and 16. So you'll see on the right it's 17, and on the left it's 19. That's a mistake, but whatever. So we'll just do 14, 19, 19, and 16. So 14, 19, 16. Padding. 14, 19, 16. And this 19 will be filled in over here. Like this is the left padding, but it's automatic if you leave it off. Because it goes top, right, bottom, and then if there's no left, it'll just automatically be filled in. Just like if this was left out, then this would automatically fill in there. So it'll go top, right, and then if there's nothing here for the bottom, the top automatically is the same as the bottom. Oops. So it goes like this. So these two right here is equivalent to spelling all of this out. So I'm just going to leave that out. And I usually like to have more padding on the bottom than on the top because a lot of text overhangs on the bottom, you know, like if you have Y's and J's and stuff. And also, I don't know, it just looks better. Okay, so this. I'm going to start moving a little bit faster now. Not explaining so much. Just because I feel like I'm not moving fast enough. And we got a line height. And usually I think like 1.4. Good for that. Does that look similar? Could be 1.5. That's nice. Okay. And do we have any rounded corners? I left rounded corners off of that. I think that's fine. Okay. And then estimate. Let's get this little info bar. Oh, it's at 80% opacity, so we're gonna get, oh, I don't want color squid. I want color picker. And this is a little bit of a lazy way to do this, but whatever. Okay. Info icon, color. And go check on it. Okay. And that's annoying. Do we always want it to have a margin left? I would say probably not. Okay. So we're going to do like next to text. I think 8px is a good size. Okay, so I just copied that so that I get the icon. Oh. Details. Info. Icon. Got all of these, and then I'll paste this next to it. And let's see what this looks like now. Nice. So we got a little margin. I think it's a little too big. Go down to 6. Okay, so now let's go back to the design. We want the list to have bullets. List, style, type. And this is embarrassing. I actually don't know the default value here. I think it's disk. Yeah, I got it. Nice. Okay, so let's see what this looks like. Oop, got a low battery. I gotta go soon. Actually, I'm gonna be right back. Okay, I'm back. So, let's see. Yeah, so we got these little bullets showing up. That's cool. Problem. They do not look as big as those bullets. They look smaller. That's fine, though, right? It might not be. I might want to make them bigger. So let's see. Next thing, I think we want to push this in. I know there's a way to do that. This style, CSS. This style. So yeah, let's see. So we've got position, outside, and then there's inside. Okay. style, position, inside. There's a reason I don't like doing this, but I forget why. I think it's probably okay, right? And then there's a little extra margin here. So 42 compared to 24. I can do that math right. So it's like 18. So margin left 18px. That looks nice. And then the list item, do like margin bottom. I think 4px should be okay. Oops. Not enough. I do want a line height on them too. I'll probably put it up here. Line height. Oops. And 1 point. I guess I'll keep it the same. And I can actually put it up here. And then I can remove it from here, remove it from here. Yeah, and that shifts everything around. But that's okay. I think it still looks okay. Might be a little too much space. No, I'm not going to put it on the whole thing. I'm just going to put it on each one individually. It didn't change anything? Oh, because I already added it up here. Okay. Yeah, okay. So that just makes it easier to control things. Okay, so we got that. Does that look... Oh, this is why I don't do it. Because look, it like puts it on that stupid line. Okay, so we're not going to do the inside thing. Right? And then we're going to go back to that. And then... let's actually see. So when I do put it inside, that's what happens. Okay. Okay, so we're not going to put it inside, and we're going to add until it looks good. I think it's 30. I think that looks right to me. I think this looks a little wrong to me now, so I'm just going to go with 30. So delete that. 30. That's nice. View detailed timeline. Oh, we don't have the timeline showing up, guys. What's up with that? We'll get to it. Okay. So, if you're still here, thank you. Sincerely, thank you. So, we're just going to keep exploring the code. So yeah, adding tooltips to these is going to be fun, but we're not going to do that until we finish styling this. Included revisions. Oh, why do I have this again? Oh, I didn't put the price. So we're going to have price. Oh. Okay. So price. So the price is going to be bold, even though I don't want it to be, because it's inside of the heading. So, oh no, I got an error. Unexpected. Okay, so I thought this added a space. I gotta look that up. Pug spacing. I don't know. Oh, this is a more recent article. I don't know why there's no space after this. I'm fine putting a little character in there. Okay, so then we're going to make a little utility. Or, wait, utils. I guess I'll put it in here, just for now. And it's going to be, what is it? Font, weight, normal. I'm fine with that. A lot of people would frown on this. But I'm okay with it. Yeah. Just because a lot of people would say, like, your classes should mean, like, what they actually are, not, like, the style. It shouldn't relate to the style. It should be, like, price. It should only be price. But I'm fine with, like, some utility stuff that's just like, this is all I need. If I needed to style the price more, I might add, like, a class that was, like, details, price. But for now, I don't foresee needing to do that. So I think just a font weight normal is fine. Okay, we got this, including revisions. We've got containers around these samples. We're going to get to the timeline real soon, don't worry, guys. We've got this border. Border 1px solid, and I think it's a border radius of 3px, 2px, sure. And padding, so we want to put this up here, and I'm going to guess 4px, and it's 6px. Sometimes it lies to me though. Okay, and then oops, background down here, background color, white, good. Now it gets a little complicated, because, okay, how do I resize these, right? I think I want them all to be uniform height, not uniform width. So I'm going to do height 132, but this is going to get a little complicated. Just hold your hats, okay? 132, so what happens when this happens? Oh no. See what's happening? They're not resizing. No, but it's okay. So it's going to be height 100%, I think. There's like a high chance that I'm going to be embarrassed here, because like I'm not an expert by any means at this. What's the at like resizing images responsively? Not responsibly, although that too. I think 29px at the bottom is fine. Padding top, padding bottom, and I think I said before that. Oh no, what's going on here? Well, now two things are going on. Okay, just one now. Okay, I had the little resize cursor and it was annoying me. Okay, but the other thing that's going on is there's like a ton of space down here. What? Look at this resize cursor. Are you seeing this? What is this? Chrome, fix your bugs. It's because I hovered over this and then can I replicate it? Yeah, I can replicate. So if I move too fast between these. Okay, sorry. Okay, so there's a lot of space down here. What's going on with that? Oh, I think it's because this is a section, right? Just section. So it's got a lot of margin on the bottom. So I think I'm just going to do detail section last. See, I'm typing code down here in the in the inspector tools. And we're going to do that. And we're going to do margin bottom 0. And of course it works, but I haven't added the HTML yet. So I only added it in the DevTools, so if I refresh, oh, it's back. But if I add the class to the last section, then we're good to go. Okay, cool. So we got this. I think this is okay. I don't know. I said like maybe I was going to embarrass myself. The thing about images is that, like, imagine I just resize the height and the width didn't change, right? So like this is what it would look like, right? So like, see, if I just change the height but I don't change the width, it's just gonna get squished, right? Or like something bad's gonna happen. But I think images, this is embarrassing that like I don't know this for a fact, but I'm pretty sure they're like a little weird in terms of like HTML elements go. And if you just resize like either the height or the width, they're kind of gonna maintain their aspect ratio. I'm pretty sure about that. So I don't know, whatever. And I know you're thinking, what are you talking about, David? Like, it's obvious. Like right here, they're maintaining their aspect ratio. What are you complaining about? Well, the thing is, things don't work the same on every browser and every device. And, there's like weird circumstances. As like a web developer for 8 years, I've gotten used to being surprised by really odd situations. So, yeah, I'm just trying to understand, trying to look out for the future. We're going to do a margin on these. It's 12. That looks a little big, doesn't it? Right? This looks not that big, and then this looks a little bigger. I think it looks fine, but I do like maybe a little bit less. So my favorite thing about designing this kind of stuff is when I switch back and forth between the design and the HTML, and I'm like, wait, which one am I in? Is this the code? And then I know, like, oh, I've got it. Nice. Like, if I'm here and I'm like, wait, am I in Sketch right now? That's a good feeling. But I haven't quite gotten there. I don't know if you'll notice, but this 300 is a little bit lighter than this. And I could, and this, there's no space. There should be a space here. Okay, so I think I'll just add one of these guys. So I got the space. So there's the question, do I go for a font weight that's lighter? So you'll see like here, it's regular, this is light. And I think in the browser, things just look a little bit heavier, maybe? So let's see, what if I change it, right? So what if I do font weight, and this is gonna affect everything. I go 300, so that's like a pretty light font weight. See how this looks thinner now, and this looks thinner? I feel like it's like a slightly more elegant look. And then I'd have to make another helper. I could just name this light, right? Or what is it called? Yeah, it's called light. And I think light works here too. But I like just being explicit. Okay, so we're going to do that. And then we're going to look for this. And we're going to change this to light. Okay. I think that's better. let's just, let's see. I think it looks like more elegant. But if I change it back and oh, actually, you know what I can do? I'll go into here, this down here. Oops. Make this a little higher. Okay, so we got the font right there. That's the difference. I like it better. Light. Okay, so we'll leave it light. Okay, so now we've got the timeline thing. This is going to be some fun. And these icons look a little bit weird. I think it's because... No, I don't have a background on this. I guess it's fine. Yeah, I mean, they're obvious enough, right? Okay, so let's make the timeline. So this is a little frustrating for me because I did just do an experiment where I already made the timeline. And now I have to rebuild the whole thing, and it's like, what the heck? No, but it's fine. Okay. Oh, and in case you're wondering, this, so this is like a little component that gets like repeated everywhere in the design. So like it's here, it's in this one, it's in this one, it's in this, or no, it's not over here because this is like the expanded one. But it's like here, here. And by making it like this little component in Sketch, it's called a symbol. When I update this, then it's going to change everywhere. So like if I delete that blue, it deletes here, but then it also deletes in all these other places. So you can kind of think about it like having like a little like CSS variable or whatever, like this container. I don't know, maybe not the best way of thinking about it. Okay, radius. So we got item, we got border radius. Don't ask me why I'm putting the border radius on before you can see it. We got the fill color, and I think I'm just gonna set like a default fill color just so we can see stuff. And you'll notice if we go back to it, we can't see anything yet because nothing has a height. So we're going to set everything to a height of 36 and a width of 24. Height of 24, width of, did I say 36? Please tell me, did I say 36? Did I? Yeah, okay. So those are good defaults. Now if we go back to the design, oh, boom, 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 looking perfect. Actually, why do I even need to change this? I think it's just done, right? What is happening here? This does not have a width of 24 and a height. Oh, it does. Height of 36. What did I do then? You guys are so... Why didn't you help me? Why didn't you tell me what was happening? What I was doing? Okay, so, and we're going to do... So this is my favorite thing. This display flex. Oh my goodness. It's so nice. Now, the thing is, if you look... wait, can I use Flexbox? Can I use... This is like the most common phrase I type into Google, honestly. So this gives you like all the overview of all the different browsers. This is like a dream come true. If I wish we would have had this back in the day. So this is annoying, right? It's got partial support in IE, which means it's got a lot of bugs, right? Partial support is due to a large amount of bugs present. See known issues, so we go to known issues. IE11, IE10 and 11, IE11. You know what? If you're using IE11, you're not going to have a great experience on a lot of sites. Maybe upgrade to IE Edge if you want to stick with Microsoft, or Chrome, which like gets updated every 2 weeks. That would be nice. That would be helpful for us web developers. or Firefox. Firefox just came out with a great new version. Okay, so when we do display flex, look what happens. Boom, easy, easy. This would be very hard to set up. Well, it wouldn't be very hard to set up with non-flexbox, but it'd be like 4 or 5 different properties, maybe 3 or 4 different properties. But still, just having one thing do that much work is pretty nice. Okay, they're all gonna have, or wait, we're gonna have, sorry, a border around all these, and it's gonna be the same color as the sample. And we're gonna have padding. I think it's 4. Let's see. Yeah, it's just 4 px. Oh, also, if you're wondering, one of the most important things that I have on this page is this mini reset, and it sets everything to have box sizing border box. If you don't know what that means, all it means, actually let me show you, because it's really fascinating. Box sizing border box. Okay. Yeah, let's see. This one. Yeah, so it just means that if you specify a width, the box is going to be that width. If you specify a height, it's going the actual box is going to be that height, right? So it means things stick to what you say they are. Now in the old model, which Firefox and Chrome got wrong, but IE got right, this is your box with width and height on it, and then it would have, the padding would go around it, and then the margin would go around it, and that's really annoying. So yeah, so this makes it easy for doing stuff like this, because then I know that when I say 4 pixel in between these, around this, it's actually 4 pixels. Because otherwise the border would be included in that, and then it would only be 3 pixels, which, might not seem like a big deal, but it is. Believe me, it is. Okay, so we've got margin, right? Margin, right? Okay, so we've got this expand. Okay, let's do the border radius first. Another 2px up here. So that just means the border around this box. Okay, so now we have an issue, which is that this goes all the way to the end. I think I can address that, but actually, I'm not sure. Is it like this? Oh, wow. I wasn't actually expecting that to work. Okay, that's not what I want though, because then this wraps. I don't know. Flexbox, container, width. Yeah. Okay. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Okay. Well, okay. I think that's probably the answer. Inline flex. And I'll just have to deal with the fact that it pushes this up. And I'll do that by just probably wrapping it in a div. Timeline container. I could just make this a div, but if I just make it a div and then I go back to this later, I'm going to just copy this, right? I'm not going to realize that I need this div. So by putting timeline container, kind of makes it obvious that it's associated, even though I'm not going to actually style it. Okay, and then that wraps that, and then that's going to push that to the next line. And also, I'm going to want to style this. Okay. Timeline. I think what I'm going to do instead is this. And then you get demoted. Timeline. Items. Okay, so, oh man, I messed something up. Timeline, items. Oh, we want that to be, see, because this was doing like timeline and then underscore items, and then this was nested below it, so it was like underscore item. But these are just timeline underscore item. I don't know. Okay, so that works, and then we actually just want padding 4px0, 4px, so that little extra margin doesn't go there. And then for the margin bottom, let's see, 10px. Margin bottom 10px. Wow, nice job. Okay, so then we've got size 1, which we don't really need to touch, but let's do it anyways. And let's make it required. So if I don't add it, it's gonna like mess something up. Right, so that'll enforce having the size on all of them. And we said it's just gonna be, so yeah, there's a way of doing this in Sass, which I think I can just do like 2 times, right? Oh yeah, nice. 3 times. And 4 times. Okay, very nice. Client feedback. Again, if you don't set the type, you're not going to get a background color. Right, so like if I delete this, like I remove this, okay. Since I just deleted that background color, these aren't going to show up anymore, right? They're just invisible. But now, if I add this back in, we'll get, oh, because remember when I added the type, I think I just added it in the CSS. Okay. Type. Huh? What? Timeline item dash type. Item dash type. Background color. Huh. Let's dive in. See what's going on. So I copy this, and so it's not a spelling error. I think. But it's not showing up here. Timeline. Let's see the generated CSS. Oh man. Okay. Let's not minify the CSS yet. Okay, that's very weird. Background color set to this. And if I search for this, it's there. Oh, what? Okay, so now it's showing up. Okay, whatever. I didn't change anything, right? I guess I changed the, like, how it was being compiled, but that shouldn't matter. Okay. Well, I don't know what that was about. Probably something I did wrong. Okay, discussion, exploratory, and focused. I like the focus color. Okay, pink, it's nice. It's like a nice pink, you know, it's like fun. I don't know. It's all that remains of my old fun design. So this is like actually a kind of a cool point to stop because, you know, we just designed this whole little detail section. We can't view the detail timeline yet. And we can't click on any of these guys, but we can make them look clickable. Oops, okay. Jeez. A, and then href. Okay, yeah, so now they look clickable. See the cursor changed. See, okay. Tooltips, I don't know, we can keep going if you want. Do you want to keep going? It's been a long time. Yeah, I don't know. Oh, you know what I can do? I can get this to work. So by default, let's go into the details and do display none. See, now you know. Now you can kind of see, like, why would I put this first, right? Above all the, like, why wouldn't I put this down here? Well, if you go to the screen and you're like, like you're another team member on the team, and you're like, why aren't the details showing up? I know that, you know, David built this feature. What's going on? Instead of having to go inspect, instead of like having to figure everything out, you can just go into the CSS, look at the top, and you see immediately, oh, it's display none. That's why, right? Okay, so that's enough about that. Let's make a JavaScript file. Okay. Or wait, JavaScript folder, and then name.js. Oh, I don't have any JavaScript on the page. Or do I? I have this. But I'm going to put this one at the bottom. And we're going to do JS, main.js. And let's make sure it's loading. If it wasn't loading, an error would show up, I think. Okay, console log, hello. ESLint found one issue. I don't know. Some people like ESLint. I do not. Please don't check my JavaScript. Okay, cool. So now we got hello showing up, and let's make this work. Okay, so first, what is this? So, JS more details, and then we're gonna do like document query selector, add event listener, function, Mhm. And I think look at the bundle. So event current target closest bundle. So let's see what I'm doing here. So first, I'm getting the more details button. That's what this does, so that I can like do stuff with it, right? I could delete it, I could change its style in code in JavaScript. Then I'm adding an event listener, and that means that it's just gonna like listen for events. So it could be like clicking on it, hovering over it. If it was like an input area, it could be like writing text into it. So I get this button, right? And this is a class I'm going to add to it, which I should probably do before I forget. More details. And usually, so why not just use this class that's already on it? Well, that doesn't say anything about interactivity, and I like to know, like, just by looking at the HTML, which elements are interactive. And this is actually a little trick that a friend I work with told me about, which is really cool. Just put JS before it, and then you know it's interactive. So yeah, so I'll add that, but I'm not going to save it yet because I don't want this page to refresh yet. Event current target closest. That's not available in every browser, but I'm going to add a polyfill for it, which means that browsers that it's not available in, I'll force it to be available in by like writing the custom code for it, or pasting it in. Which is how most development happens, I guess. So this will get the element that I'm targeting. So I couldn't use this again because this current target is referring to this particular button. So if I have multiple bundles on this page, you don't want to click this more details button and then they all expand. So this makes sure you're focused on the one that was just clicked on. Oh, and yeah, you have to add the actual event you want to capture here. So we get event current target closest bundle. So closest is really cool. So it starts out with this element, right? The more details element. You can see it hovered here. It's going to climb up here and up the tree until it finds the container that is bundle. And it's just going to get the first one it comes across. And then it's going to do, let's see. Add class, so like class list add. So class list gets you all the classes, gets you all the classes that this element has, because we just got this element, and we're going to say bundle show details. Now what I could also do, instead of just like adding this, oh, we don't need the dot, because otherwise it would add the class with the dot, but classes have dots before them to show that they're classes. I don't know, I don't want to get into that, but you don't need the dot. Okay, so the other thing I could do is like get the bundle and then go in and find the particular details, right? So I could do like query selector details, and this is just another way of doing it. And then I could do like style display block. I think that might work. Wow, that's so cool. It worked, right? But that's not what I want to do. So let's refresh. And let's go back. So the reason I don't want to do that is I'm like editing I'm editing the style in JavaScript right now with this. But I don't want to do that. I want the CSS to control the style. So instead, I'm going to get that and add this. And actually I want to toggle it. I think class list has a toggle. Toggle. It does. Why does it need force? See this force thing? I don't get it. I don't know. Okay, so we're just going to do toggle. Oops. Document. Query selector. Jeez. That's because I didn't save this. Okay. Boom. Okay, so I clicked it, right? What's going on? Well, this class that I added, show details, isn't actually doing anything yet. Right? It's not in the styles. So let's just see if this is working. Bundle show details. I didn't add that there, right? What happened? Well, I click this, and it toggles it. That's so cool. I don't know. It's a simple thing, but I love it. Okay, so let's put this in our JavaScript, and then let's make this do something. So we just need this last part here, and do that, and display block. Right? So by default, it's display none. The details aren't shown. But if it gets this class added to it, dash dash show details, so it'll be the full class is this, right? Because this details replaces the ampersand. Show details display block. Cool. Let's see if it works. It does not work. Oh, yeah, okay. Because this doesn't belong here. So, okay, so I'm the show details belongs on the bundle, and then when it's set, I want to go into details and have that display block. Okay, so now it'll work. Wait, refresh. Boom, it works. Now you see when I click this a lot of times, this highlights. That's annoying. So let's. I gotta stop soon because my throat is getting a little raw. So we're gonna go into user select, and we're gonna say. I'm not gonna support. Or wait, let's see. I want to support like IE Edge, which I think this will do. So I think this is all I need. Okay. So, So this I could put on the more details button. So more details button. I could just say like user select. Oops, none. And then if I click on it, no matter how many times I click on it, it's not gonna select, right? Which is nice. But the problem with putting this on on here is it's, I don't know, it's not really a problem. But I just like interaction things like this. So like especially such like a powerful interaction thing to be like more explicit. So I'm going to put that in the utilities instead. No select. And the reason for this is if I go into my HTML, which is like going to be the first place I go probably when I'm debugging, I want to just see immediately like, why isn't this thing working, right? And if I see a no select class on it, I'm going to know, oh, that's what's going on, right? So like, if I went into here, if I was like, okay, like I want to select this text, users are having trouble selecting this text, what's going on, right? And I'm trying to debug it as a developer. I go in here and I say, oh, it's got a JS class on it. That's probably what it has to do with, right? So then I'm going to go into the JavaScript, I'm going to search for this class, and I'm going to look around and I'm going to be like, wait, I'm not doing anything here to affect the selection, right? But if I just have a no select class, it's going to be obvious just going into the HTML exactly what's going on, right? So, I don't know. Just kind of a nice little thing to add. If you're like new to development, I would not worry about this. Just like put it in the CSS. Like you'll develop your own habits as you go along. Okay, so that's cool. We don't have this expanding yet. Oh, we don't have a white background on this either. Bundles. But I think I'm going to stop for now because I've been coding for a little bit. Yeah. And I'll probably be back for another video later. So, oh, dang. That's because it needs to go on this one. Okay, cool. So I got that. Oh, we do want to make it look clickable. But we don't want to set this one to an anchor tag because you shouldn't put like divs, which is what these are. Like anything that doesn't have a tag before it, right? It defaults to div. So like you can imagine that all of these have divs. It's the same thing, right? And you don't want to put divs, right? You don't want to put a div inside of an anchor tag because it's invalid markup. So instead what we're going to do is cursor pointer. And then we know it's clickable. And we probably also want to like highlight it, you know, when you hover over it to like give an extra indication, just like with the icons. So do like hover and let's look open color. I don't have this color in open color. Okay. I guess this is where color squid comes in, huh? So we got the color in here. Let's look at like variations. Hue and saturation, hue and brightness. Lighter, darker. I don't know. I don't know if this is going to work. But let's just do color. Well, I know it's going to work. I just don't know if it's going to look right. Yeah. It looks okay to me. It's not great. It's like too dark, you know? So let's do or saturation and brightness. Oh wait, did I paste the original color in there? Okay. And I think, I don't know. It looks kind of the same, but it might be a little bit better. And let's also cursor this. Okay, cursor pointer. I was just trying to decide where to put it, above or below, but it doesn't matter. Okay, cool. And yeah, I'll add like new tooltips and stuff. Maybe I'll do that in the next coding session. But for now, we've got this little timeline. And for the last thing, I just want to show you very briefly what I'm going to be building, the whole thing. You kind of saw it in the sketch design. I might be logged into my work. Yep, logged into my work. Okay. Yep. Okay, so yeah, I'll just show you what I'll be working on. So the artist will have their portfolio site. This is like Miori's actual portfolio site. And they'll have a button which will go to Artisfy. And they'll build their own portfolio. I'm not going to worry about that right now. But when you click on Hire Me, you're going to go here. You're going to be able to see more details. You'll be able to click on the timeline to expand it and see day by day how the project's going to go, when payments are due, when you can add a revision, and click the legend. You can see more info about how the revisions are set up, the price, the timeline. You can click on an image to see more details about what you'd be getting from this project. And then when you're ready, you can select it. You can describe your project, type. See a little demo, see a little tutorial on, what the artist is expecting. Set a custom deadline. Some quicker deadlines might cost more. Put in your contact details. and then finally check out and send the request. And there's a lot of steps after this, but this is what I'm going to build for the first version. There's like automatic usage right, contract generation, there's invoicing, there's payment, accepting payments. I'm going to get to all that, but just to start out, I'm going to just build these first few pages. That'll just give artists a better way of displaying their hiring details. And yeah, I've got a new website coming out real soon, so I'm excited to share that all with you. Okay, well, thank you for watching, and I really enjoyed doing this. I hope that some of you watched, more than 5 or 10 minutes, but if you didn't, that's fine too. Yeah, it's going to be exciting. Working on this and getting it to a place that it's really good for the industry as a whole, because right now you have a lot of sites out there that aren't as focused on the artist as an individual, and this kind of changes that a little bit, kind of brings the seesaw back and balances it out so that artists are recruiting their own clients, and I think it's going to be a much more artist-centric approach to the process. Okay, thank you for watching. Goodbye.